Thank you so much for attending my PowerPoint presentation on the TI-14 playoffs. Finals recap. Alright, losers finals was Extreme versus Paravision. Satanic was seen sipping green tea before the match, so that was my biggest lesson learned from this match, is to sip green tea before losing in the losers finals of TI. Sorry for the spoiler, but it's literally on the image in front of you. Extreme banned out 9 class, which makes me sad. People figured it out. In order to beat Paravision, you just have to ban out 9 class. And then Extreme picked Phantom Lancer, which is hilarious. Xiaowei was absolutely cooking with that pick. 9 class was relegated to playing Void Spirit. What? He was rocking the perp and it actually worked out for the most part. He did a really good job of dealing with PL later on in the game with Aether Remnants. He had the facet that spawns a bunch of Aether Remnants whenever he casts the W spell, so that was satisfying. The game plan appeared to be stalling so that Ame PL could reach a power spike, but it wasn't happening. It just didn't happen. I didn't pick up on it in the draft, but like, geez, the Elder Titan was smacking hard as hell this game. Natural Order is a messed up ability. Every single time that Ame went into poke, he would just immediately get to a quarter HP and have to run away. The PL was completely ineffective. I have no idea what the plan was. There was just nothing to do against Paravision's team fight. Game 2, Jinkute Snapfire. Big pog on that. More sniper for XM as well. He had the astronaut skin, so it really fit the theme of this CI with the constellations. 9 class went Ag Slave Alchemist. I have no idea what happened in the hotel room last night for this to be 9 class's ultimate fate. It is incredibly funny watching him bumble around the map. He wound up taking a bunch of tier 1 back shots, diving for no reason, which was a really funny way for it to go. Ame Sunders were really good. He reminded everyone else that it is not only a young man's game to play Terrorblade. He had one particular Sunder where he swapped 9 class at literally 30 HP. It is a sad thing to watch my Blorbo turn into a poor little Meow Meow, but I will take it in the hopes of Ame eventually winning the Aegis. Guess what didn't happen? Anyway, Extreme took a really good fight near the top torm. Satanic counterspelled Fiend's Grip, which was sick nasty, but he still died, Sag. A lot of saucy Manta dodges on both sides. Ame and Satanic both really good at that. They've definitely downloaded Polygon Trainer. Ravage Hoof Stomp on 3 by XXS. High ground torn open. XXX God. Like, this guy is nuts. His username is really hard to say. I just moved it, but I'm not even going to try to record it again. He immediately followed up a 3-man Hoof Stomp with a card play and then finished the game outright by himself. Look, I was a big fan of XXS back in the Team Aster days. Alright, I love this guy. He used to be the best Mars in the world before ATF showed up on the scene. I'm really glad he's doing well. Well enough to get to the losers finals, and even the grand finals of TI. Game 3, first pick the Centaur. It worked so well for the last game, might as well first pick it, and I love that. Paravision made the huge mistake, I talked about this yesterday, they made the massive mistake of trying to play fair, meta-aligned Dota. It hasn't worked in the playoffs before. It's not going to work now. Satanic TA, which is nice, right? Very good hero. There was just zero answer for Ame's Dusi. Alright, this draft is solidly in favor of Extreme Gaming. There's really nothing that Paravision can provide to help. The Bristleback is sort of a threat, but like, let's be honest, not really. Once again, there were 0 kills this game. 4th kill at 13 minutes after dropping a solo rock onto Kalis Chen. Paravision shockingly cast a metric shitload of spells on the Centaur, which I gave Ame shit for blinking in and trying to hit a Centaur as Sven yesterday. I'm going to give the same amount of shit now for Paravision. Like, why would you do that? Satanic still managed to get 413 CS at 24 minutes. I'm going to repeat those numbers because they don't make any sense. 413 CS at 24 minutes. This guy is a is there even that many creeps on the map to hit? Now, as for the fights, Crazy Roche, XSS got an Aegis-Steal, who cares at this point? Aegis-Steals are like no longer flashy after this TI. It's weird what it's done to the economy of the Aegis-Steal. Another fight where Extreme somehow got caught out. Puck died, the XM Puck, and then TA on Satanic. There was a dieback, so like, who knows how it's going to end. Every team fight feels like a coin flip, but this flip is like an Olympic gymnastics routine. It's insane. Paravision wound up losing it in the end. XG dropped a Roche banner for Vision in a Roche fight, by the way, which is like an open AI strat. Do you guys remember back in the day when people started putting sentries down on the tier 3 for Sniper to hit it and like using CM ulti on Roche? That's what this felt like. There was a pause so that Satanic could drink water with his eyes closed. Then Satanic bought a rapier. It wasn't enough. Extreme took it very handily. So there truly are minutes where seconds happen and seconds where minutes happen. As a result of this game, Ame has yet another chance to lose TI Grand Finals. I'll be cheering for him. Will it work out? No, it fucking won't. Okay, sorry for the spoiler, but it won't. Now let's talk about how he lost. So, game one, I was really cheering for Extreme. I genuinely was. First off, in the draft, extremely smart Mars deny pick from Extreme. XXS was the best Mars in the world for a very long time. Remember, ATF has stolen the title now, but it wasn't this to begin with. More kills in 6 minutes than in 20 minutes for some games. I really pray to keep the pace. It did not. Ame Ursa realized how much pressure there was on the enemy safe lane and decided to just go up and steal the Wisdom Rune, and no one could do anything about it. Skeeter Sven, very strong. He got a renet at one point and just decided to hit XXS until he died. Skeeter definitely has the makings of a TI winner. That's from foreshadowing. XXS also did an amazing Amar impression with early Sheepstick on Mars and Refresher. However, unlike Amar, he actually used it to get kills and advance the game state, so I assume that's a little bit of the Chinese 5 spice in action. Hoodwink ZQ also wins Sheepstick. Very nice. What can you do? You guys are like a flock now at this point. And then Malrine Ember died to Hoodwink and Elder Titan alone. He just got killed by the two supports together. So going after this match, I was like, okay, Extreme has a chance, right? They are still the underdog, but like, if you can keep Amar off Mars, the game is easy. Please learn from this. I was praying for a 3-0 so I can finally go to sleep for more than 4 hours since the start of playoffs, but whatever. It's not important. Game 2, Primal Beast for Malrine. It looked fun, right? I immediately saw that pick and I was like, okay, we're going to have a good time. And then Ame went for Clinks, and I was like, okay, that's even more fun. Surely Extreme will do well. And I was clueless. What could be said? Abakari for Skeeter, that's the fun police. No one gets to enjoy this game now. ATF Bristleback immediately became an invincible object. Extreme literally didn't have an answer. They actually did. They had an obvious answer in the form of Hoodwink, and it just didn't matter at all, so they lost anyway. Refresher on Primal Beast, that's a hero who is canonically a moron. And then a final fight at the Dire Ancient, Malrine made a mighty screech when he went in. I wish I had the production value to show you the sound that he made. It was absurd. He cast Roar IRL, and then he went 10-0, so it's okay, I think. It's no aura lost on Malrine. Ultimately, this was just Falcons playing its game very well. They manhandled the map. They didn't give Extreme anything for free. Really good way to win a game of Dota. Really boring way to win a game of Dota, but like, hey, there's a respectable amount of money on the line, so like, sure, whatever. Game 3, after the XXS bans, XG drafted a bunch of Edgelord heroes, and then the repeats Fen for Ame, which had a good feeling for me. Anyway, Falcons win for Gyro, who had been unimpressive so far, Pango for ATF, a lot of potential defusal carries, a lot of shenanigans waiting in the wings. XG did the Falcons and stole the triangle stacks, and now XM is fat with a PH. The Shadow Fiend was a very legitimate threat. There was a fight in the mid game where Amar went for the Pango roll and just wound up getting stuck in gay baby jail for the entirety of it. Had literally zero effect. There was also a period where Ame was just walking around at 2 HP with Fennel and got a triple kill in the middle of a fight. This caused him to have an epiphany that he crit for 1,000 damage, then he just took Roche and won the game. This was yet another case of Ame getting bored and realizing he can just win the game, so he went and did it. Many such cases, surely this will happen again at least once in the remaining games, right? Then Grand Finals Game 4, Ame Sven again. He really seems to like this hero. And when I saw this pick, I was like, okay, China's going to win TI for sure. Nothing bad can happen in the slightest. There's no way. And then there was the Magnus last pick for XG, which to me almost seemed like a deny pick. It's like, okay, Ame has learned from his previous jokes. There's no way he's going to leave this hero on the table, and surely if they take it away, they will win. Plus, they have a Sven, so like 135% cleave, and they have Natural Order from the Elder Titan. That's insane damage. Surely they will not lose. And then ATF did the hilarious move of picking Ursa Battle Fury offlane, and it actually did good. You look at his KD and you see 2-0 and 3, and that's like comedic. Jinkyu kept feeding a Shadow Demon, but I was like, it's fine. He's a Shadow Demon. It's okay. And then Falcons began establishing map control, and I was just praying in my mind. It was like, please, not again, not again. Like, it can't happen again. There's no way this can happen again, and it did. Xnova had a 3.5k net worth at 30 minutes. Position 6 is truly back in the meta, but only if you're losing. The Falcons did win this game. I refuse to acknowledge the game impact of offlane Ursa. It was purely Skeeter gyro, and if you say anything else, I'm going to throw a rock through your window tonight. And then game 5. We have seen multiple jugs picked up in elimination matches. We saw it with Crystallis, we saw it with Satanic, and for some reason, Extreme was like, nah, I'm different, and decided to go it anyway. And the thing that you think happened, happened. We saw multiple boofed Omni Slashes, the exact same that we've seen in literally every single jug game in an elimination match so far. The big thing for me was like Falcons just hard ripped the Dusa into the Shadow Demon. And I was like, okay, Extreme has a chance, right? Because Falcons clearly didn't think about the counter pick. Xingqiu is going to hit Disruption on the Medusa and then they're going to win every fight. That is not what happened. Ame did not boof the first Omni Slash, which to me was a glimmer of hope that immediately got dashed away. He also only got 1 point in spin and then put the rest in crit, and I found that very funny. There was a BM pause after one Omni that barely didn't kill. Allegedly, it was for TeamSpeak issues. I don't know about you. I do not know a single human being on planet Earth who uses TeamSpeak. Falcons basically abused the fact that there was 0 stuns on Extreme. They basically just nightfalled without even BKBing as long as the Earthshaker wasn't there and Disruption was on cooldown, because the SF ulti startup is so long that it's like whatever. By the time they react, you can usually get out. There was one particular Omni Slash that basically went onto Malrine against all odds, and then it still didn't kill. It actually did wind up killing due to Shadow Demon ulti. Which, if that doesn't tell you enough about the state of Juggernaut as a hero, I don't know what else to say. Then Ame died for no reason and had to watch, while dead, as his Pugna approached tier 3 for no reason against a Magnus and then got yoinked. And I guarantee he had a PTSD flashback in that moment. Skeeter himself, on Medusa, did an Ame impression where he just got bored and then took Aegis and waddled up to win the game. Ame boofed the final Omni, Falcons got Megas, Naga ulti let them all TP out. Fuck this stupid Baka Chungus world we live in. Like, I'm so mad. Still. And then just BM. They didn't end. They just kind of hung out for a while until Snake King Naga later on in the game popped a Chinese BKB in honor of their opponents, and then that's how TI ended. And then Malrine and ATF laid down on the ground in the middle of the confetti for a nice photo op. I wrote a little bit about how I feel about this year's TI here. Go ahead and read it if you like. Now, as for the announcements, TI 2026 will be taking place in Shanghai. We haven't been there for TI in quite a little bit, so I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. I'm also interested to see how Extreme's performance is going to affect Dota 2's popularity in China. I can't imagine it's very good. If anything, people are probably very sad. And that's it. No hero, no nothing. That's it. Just TI in China next year. In conclusion, TI was fun and you should have watched it. I am now against sports washing as a direct result of Falcons winning. If anyone else had won, I would have been okay with it. Peace on planet Earth.